For oral answer, would some honourable member care to move that the House takes note of miscellaneous business?
Yes, Mr Speaker, I so move.
Andrew Little.
And before I do so, I will move the glasses of water out of the way to avoid an inevitable risk. Mr Speaker, Parliament has become very shabby in the last couple of days, attributable almost entirely to the conduct of our Prime Minister and his fellow members opposite. They will not stand up and provide the leadership that this nation expects and demands. And we now are in the shocking situation of a Prime Minister of 7 years standing trivialising sexual abuse in this country and around the world. And Kiwis are sick and tired of a government that is interested only in playing parliamentary parlour games and not on the issues that count for New Zealanders. You know, Yesterday, our Prime Minister chose the low road. He chose, as he so often does, the easy road. A so-called punchline to him there and an insult to others there. It's the road of cynical, nasty politics. He had the opportunity today to rise up above and show, I've got news for you, Ms Bennett. I've got something about you, Ms Bennett. You'll be part of it too. He could have stood up and showed the leadership and statesmanship that this country is so long yearning for, but he could not bring himself to do it. He could, when we are dealing with New Zealand-born Australians who've lived virtually all their lives in Australia, lived their lives, worked there, got families, got support networks there, have committed crimes and done their sentence, and now being detained indefinitely. He could have got on the phone to Malcolm Turnbull and said, Malcolm, I know we had a great time in Government House in Auckland a few weeks ago. I know we funned around with our rugby ties and it was very funny and we won. But, mate, you've got to do the right thing. Because what Australia is doing and what Malcolm Turnbull's government is doing is the wrong thing. And when it comes to people who have lived virtually all their lives in New Zealand, those who have offended at the low end of the scale, the shoplifters, those who have got drink driving convictions, those who've got petty offences, even a number of them, their best chance of rehabilitation isn't coming back to the country where they've got no support, no networks, no nothing, but being back in the country that is the country of their upbringing. They are Australians in all but the place where they were born. And if our Prime Minister was a leader, he'd be on the phone to Malcolm Turnbull and he'd be making that point. Well, what the Prime Minister has done, because he will not stand up to that issue, is just weak. He won't stand up to his mate and do what good mates do and say, mate, on this occasion, it's not right. But it's hardly surprising. Look at the standards at which his government operates. We have a chief whip, the government's desk monitor, who rather than trying to debate or allow debate on important issues, like the appalling state of our state houses that Paula Bennett's responsible for, or healthy homes, runs off and plays tittle-tattle. And so here we have the Dominion Post now highlighting the very point that my Healthy Homes Guarantee Bill is all about. People, young children, still, after 7 years of this government, suffering, going to hospital, and trying to have that debate. But the desk monitor opposite, the man of great Christian virtue, leads the prayer breakfasts in Parliament, has not an ounce of Christian charity to allow these people to at least have a chance. That's how appalling it is. That's how appalling it is. But why would that surprise us? When you have a housing minister, or at least 1/3 of the housing minister, sitting opposite, who has gone down in world history as the world's worst minister in charge of a social policy ever. Not only has she failed New Zealand housing tenants, not only has she failed to get decent quality housing in New Zealand, she was the one as Social Development Minister who presided over the worst piece of, the nastiest piece of legislation ever to pass through this Parliament, whereby cancer patients who cannot continue to work have to go on a job seeker's benefit and prove to our social agencies that they are looking for work as they're trying to cure themselves of the dreadful cancers they've got. And when they can't prove they're working, she insists that they have to produce a medical note at their expense from their doctor. What a nasty minister. What a dreadful, appalling, nasty, incompassionate minister. And she sits there embarrassed, as she should do, Well, it's all right, Paula, just say sorry. Just say sorry to the cancer sufferers of New Zealand. And say sorry to the State House tenants who you just don't care about. The only embarrassing thing about this, and I've had to send a word to the Dominion Post for backing us politically, is they've got to stop being so biased. It is embarrassing that they should be so
The
a favourite
member's
of us.
time has expired.
Mr. Speaker.